In this video, we're going to be creating a college letter M, and we're going to do a nice big size M. And there's certain letters in the alphabet that are kind of complicated because of the way they're designed. And what we're going to show you is a couple of tricks that we use and some specialized features that we built into EasyStone specifically for these tasks. When I find myself in a bit of a jam, over and over and over again, I tend to say, well, is there a tool that I could create that would simplify this process? And that's really what we're going to demonstrate here. So let's go ahead and grab our text tool and type out the letter M, and we'll make it a little bit bigger here so we can see it. And we'll use our font manager here inside EasyStone. We'll open up our font manager, and let's just type in, I know that the word black is in the font that I want to use, and you see it filters it down, and this is the one I want to use, Collegiate Black. Now I do want to set my letter M, I do want to set that to 6 inches tall. So we'll set that to 6 inches tall, and we'll give this a copy. And this is the one we're going to work on. I am going to convert it to curves. And let's come back over here into EasyStone, and let's go to the Stone Fill tab. Now, I do need to set my stone size to SS10, which currently it's SS6. So I'm just going to right-click on SS10 here. That will set my stone size. The fill for this letter is going to be a red, so we'll right-click on our red, our light cyan, and that will change our form color. And then we'll hit Grid Fill. And EasyStone will take us part of the way down the road. Now, here's the thing. Because we're doing a letter M, it is symmetrical. So there's no sense in stressing on doing both sides. We're just going to do half, and then we'll come back and we'll do the other half. So let's go ahead and delete half of it. So I just selected half of it and deleted it. And let's just go ahead and delete this too. We don't need that right now. So you can see EasyStone did a reasonable job, but obviously this is not nice. This is not nice. But I'm going to show you a kind of a fun little trick here inside EasyStone that will clean that up pretty easily for us. I do want to do 3 offsets here. So I'm just going to grab this stone and offset in that direction. I'm going to offset in that direction. It told me I didn't have anything selected to offset. So we'll offset in that direction. If I select these and look at the bottom of CorelDRAW, you see it says 8 objects right here at the very bottom middle. And if I select these, it tells me I only have 7 objects. So I would like to have equal. So we'll do like that. So we'll have 8 and 8. All right, so now how do we fix this? Well, let me show you how we're going to fix this. First of all, we want a nice sharp point, or at least as sharp a point as we can get. And then here's what we're going to do. We're going to select this stone here and hold our shift key and select this stone here. Now we have a great tool here inside EasyStone, or really a set of tools, and that's our Easy Guide function. So let's go ahead and open up Easy Guides here. And Easy Guides is honestly really quite valuable. It does a lot of amazing things when it comes to design work that don't exist in CorelDRAW. So what we want is we want a guideline at whatever angle this is. So if I hit Shift, Guided Angle, now you can see there's a guideline placed at whatever angle that is. And like I said, that is really quite useful function. Any stone that is near or intersects my guideline, I'm just going to get rid of, like so. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we have this whole string of stones right here. I'm going to say I want a horizontal guideline on each object, center horizontal. So you can see what the guideline tool did. It put us a guideline at every single stone that we had selected. So now all I have to do is take a stone and position it over the intersection of those guidelines, and that will position that stone. So I could do that for every one. So I can hit spacebar, spacebar. You just wait till it says intersection, hit the spacebar, move it down, come back up, intersection, spacebar. intersection, spacebar, intersection, spacebar. Move it down, intersection, move it down. You can even move it over all the way down to that point. So intersection, intersection, intersection. Don't worry about the overlaps. That's fine for what we're going to do here. And delete. So we'll back out a little bit and we'll delete this. Okay, so now that is basically done as far as we want to take it right there. So if we right click, we can also click on clear guidelines here, or we could right click in Easy Stone, right click on EG. That would remove any existing guidelines as well. Now yes, there's more work to do here, but we're going to explain momentarily how we're going to do that. But we need to take care of this first. Now, we had a guideline here. I'm going to put that back. Remember, shift guided angle. And all I'm going to do is pick this guideline up and drag it to the center of this stone up top here. And now you can see what we've got here. So what I want to do here is kind of the same thing we did down here. I want to select a whole string of stones here. I want to do each object center horizontal. And now we have a whole new set of guidelines. But the process is going to be exactly the same. We're just going to pick this stone up and drop it at the intersection, spacebar, intersection, spacebar, all the way up. So you can see we're just going to intersection to intersection. If we come to the edge of our document, it'll auto scroll. That's just a functionality of CorelDRAW. So you can see what we're going to do here. Just all the way up. We can also zoom out here probably. We don't have to be zoomed in so close to find those intersections. And there you go. Okay, so now we have all those intersections taken care of. Now what we want to do is right click on EG or click on clear guides, either one. We can go ahead and delete or close our easy guides now. So now we kind of have the basis. So I'm going to select my letter M. I'm going to go ahead and check spacing, and that will get rid of most of our overlaps, some of them anyhow. And then what we're going to do is up here from this point upwards, we're going to fix all these gaping holes here. So you just select each row, H. Each row, H. H for horizontal spacing. H. So all the way down, H, back to that point again. I do want to point out one thing here, that when we get down to a certain point in this design, you see we're selecting the entire row until we get to this point. I want this corner to remain the same. So we're going to just space those stones horizontally. And now we can go back to picking the whole row. So you see, it is a bit time consuming, but it's not really so bad. But the results will speak for themselves because it'll be perfect. It'll be exactly, it'll look exactly like you want. And if you look at other designs, you see that that spacing is just a little off. Now down here, we're going to do something completely different. But to do that, we actually need to mirror what we've already got. So now we're just going to select it. Always grab that center control handle, drag it, hit the control key to snap it to the proper same proportion. Right click to make a duplicate. We're going to pick up from the center of stone to center of stone. There you go. Now we do need to delete any overlapping stones there may be. Check spacing. 18 overlappers. So we'll go ahead and get rid of those. And now, because we have our full row available to us, now we can do that horizontal spacing thing like we did up top. That's why I waited to do it so I had the whole row. So we'll just come in here, go horizontal, horizontal, horizontal. See, now that particular row is a little bit tight, so I might just delete one stone and then come in here and we'll do horizontal spacing again. This one here might be a little loose, so we'll make a duplicate and see if we can't fit one more in there. and it looks like we can. I'll be happy with that. Even though it's a bit tight, I think I can live with it. This one obviously we have to get rid of. All right, so there you go. There is the base, basically our letter M here. We'll check spacing one more time. There are no overlaps found. And so now we have to bring in this. We'll go ahead and convert this to curves. And we'll pick up from this node right to the center of that stone. And all we have to do is just double click. And we're going to just take these nodes, just like we did if you watched our video on the letter R. We're just going to match up the outline perfectly to our existing stones. So there we go. And then here we're going to have to do to that stone there, double click to this stone here. We'll move this node over to here. So you can see how it's all going to line up perfectly. And you also see how different the outline was to what our stoned version was. And that's pretty common, because we made quite a few differences. You know, we offset, we made this stick out 3 rows instead of 2. So we made quite a few changes along the way that affects this original vector outline that we use for our M here. So you can see it's kind of a methodical process, but I'm going to show you something, or talk about something that's also kind of cool that we're doing in the process of doing this. We're actually creating 2 designs in one, and you don't even know it. All right, so there is our matching vector M, and so we're going to select that, and we're going to come over here to the Stone Fill tab, and we're going to open up our advanced functionality here, which is our offset functions. And we're going to go from the existing 10s to 16s. So we could choose 10 to 16, but I want a little bit of extra space. So I'm actually going to choose the 10 to 30 option. And that will give me a bigger offset. Right click to offset to the outside. There, you can't see it, but it's there. If we right click on any one of these colors, now you can see that outline. Maybe I should pick a darker color. There you go. So now I want to change my stone size to SS16. So right click on my SS16 button. Change my outline color that I want to use, which in my case I want to use crystal. And we'll go back over to the stone tab and Alt add stones. And that has the same effect as detect corners. So Alt add stones. And there is our letter M. So I'm actually going to copy this and delete our stone paths. We'll come in here and delete our vector outline. And we're going to go ahead and check spacing, get rid of any overlaps, which it found 24 overlapping stones. And basically that is our finished product. Now, here's the thing to point out too. Do you see where we have a collision here, and we have a collision here and here and here at those really tight corners? Don't be concerned about those too much. I've done enough templates and cut enough to know that even though visually they do show that they're overlapping, and they are, your template is actually going to cut that way. But when you go to brush in your stones, the stones will still fall into place just fine. There's not enough of an overlap to impact those stones brushing in. And you know, I'd rather have these 2 stones really close together than, you know, just taking one away altogether. So that's just my personal opinion. Like I said, I wouldn't sweat it too much. So let's go ahead and add a weed box around this design. And you can see we have a really great looking M. I do see, a lot of times when you put a weed box around it, you get a better visual of the design that you're working on. And it looks to me like one of these rows, maybe right here, could possibly stand another stone. So I'll make a duplicate. If I select this stone on the far left, I select this stone on the far right, and I hit S, it'll select everything in between, and then I can hit H. And if you look, yes indeed, if you look at the other spacing, there was room for another stone in there. Maybe there's room for another stone here too. So S, H. Although that spacing is a little bit tight for this particular row, I think I'll live with that and go with that. So sometimes when you're looking at something, same thing here, I think we can fit another stone there. S, H. Yeah, and it looks like we did fit another stone in there. So when you looking at it with a weed box behind it, sometimes it becomes more noticeable that we can fit another stone in there. That one's a little bit too tight, that row, so I think I'll back it back off. So I think that looks pretty good. Very happy with that, and you can see it's a pretty exact looking result. Now earlier I was talking about, well, really we're making two designs in one, and I do want to show you something here. So let's go ahead and copy this design down too. When I was talking about making two designs in one, let's go ahead and let's delete our stone paths. Let's go ahead and select our crystal stones in this design and get rid of those. So we did that. So now we're back to where we were. And the offset that we're going to do now, this offset that we're going to do, let's offset 16 to 20 this time. And right click to create that offset. And let's go ahead and give our offset a color of orange again. And then let's go ahead and select all of our red stones in the design and get rid of those. And then we're going to add our SS16s in crystal, just like we did previously. But then the middle, we're going to go ahead and apply just a glitter. So let's just do light pink, for example. All right, so then we'll go ahead and choose our weed box behind. And the only other thing I would probably do is I'd probably come in here and I'd probably just eyeball and make these pointed, because right now obviously they're not pointed. But that's really just a personal preference there. Minor little detail. So there we have a nice looking glitter M with our outline, our same SS16 outline. So that's just kind of something to think about when, and probably what I would do. The other thing to think about is, rather than create two templates, we would offset our glitter M so we could use the same outline in this template with our glitter M fill. So, you just have to think about how you're actually going to be making things and the different options you have available. You can get pretty creative. So hopefully this will give you some insight on some of these more challenging letters, and experiment with the different techniques that we're using and come up with something for yourself or whatever design you're working on. Thanks for watching.